boy, my neighbor? Won't you, boy? Could you please? Boy, 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 boy. My neighbor. Hi, neighbor. What's up, my people? This is ShowBizz the Adult. Alright, man, look. Leo, Santa Cruz, is he dogging Gervonta Tank Davis and Errol the Truth Spence? His next fight will be against Danny Garcia. Oops! Alright, man, look. Let's get to the video. First, I want to say this COVID-19, man, this coronavirus. I mean, look, the stimulus package has been passed. The bill has been signed by the president last night. So we will be getting our checks. I'm not sure what you're going to do with yours. They said it's up to $2,000, something like that. Everybody's getting a stimulus check. And I think it all depends on how many dependents you got. Now, as far as being quarantined, I mean, now there's a cop patrolling my neighborhood. He's patrolling the neighborhood. He's seeing if anyone's out there, if there's a group larger than 10 people, all those things. You can actually go to jail. Let's get to the video. ShowBizz the coffee. Black, 2 sugars. Leo Santa Cruz, man. Leo Santa Cruz said that he'll fight Tank Davis if he goes down to 130. Oops! Is that a duck? Let's think about this. Hold on. Let's think about this for a minute. You all know that I like Leo Santa Cruz. He's a bad boy. He's one of my favorite fighters, okay? With that said, is he ducking? And here's why I ask. It looked like that was a fight for pay-per-view that they were hyping up, that they were trying to build up, that they were saying that will be Gervonta Tank Davis' next fight would be Leo Santa Cruz. And Leo Santa Cruz, at the time, it was understood that he'll be moving up to 135 to take on Tank Davis. Now he's saying Tank Davis got to move down to 130. Now, Leo Santa Cruz, I do understand, he only fought at 135 one time. That was his last fight, wasn't it? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. So I do understand if, hey, look, I haven't spent enough time at 130 to make me jump up at 135 to fight Tank Davis. You must have lost your mind. Well, hold on one second. Now, there's already an understanding and there's actually a demand for that fight. People are starting to heart for that fight. People are starting to want that fight. It looked like there wasn't an issue before. Now, in order to have that fight, it must be at 130. The reason why I ask if it's a duck is this. We all know Gervonta Tank Davis can't make 130. He can't. If he makes 130, he'll be weight trained. He wouldn't be Tank Davis. Now, he barely made 135, or did he? He didn't even make it the first time against Gamboa. He came in at 136 and a half. The guy is struggling to make 135, it seems. Okay, so to have him go to 130, that's almost impossible. It feels like it's practically impossible. Now, I think in order to have Leo Santa Cruz against Gervonta Tank Davis, in reality, that fight has to happen at 135. But Leo Santa Cruz say he's not fighting at 135. He did say if he fights Tank Davis, got to be at 130. And after he fights Tank Davis, he'll move up to 135. Well, what's the difference between now and then? Here's another thing. We all know that that's a big check taking on Tank Davis pay-per-view. Why pass that up? I do think Leo Santa Cruz can make 135. I think he'll be effective at 135, but that's just me. I'm not Leo Santa Cruz or his team. But I'm starting to kind of feel a little bit strange about Leo Santa Cruz demanding that Tank Davis meet him at 130 in order for the fight to happen. I'm feeling weird there. I want to know what you all think. Now, let's talk about the next subject. Let's talk about Errol the Truth Spence taking on who? Danny Garcia. July, maybe even August. It's so funny because Errol Spence, he announced that during just a random live stream. Everybody's trying to contact Errol Spence, have an interview with Errol Spence. Errol Spence, he spoke to the people. He told the people what they needed to hear. He actually brought up Terrence Bud Crawford. He said that he'll fight Terrence Bud Crawford. He's going to fight him. He said either the end of this year, next year for sure. It's not going past next year. So, and it made me think about Derrick James, when Derrick James said that Terrence Crawford got to take on higher level opposition before, taking that fight with Errol Spence. Why take a risk when you're not going to get a huge reward from the people, with the people not knowing Terrence Crawford? He's talking about the casual fans. My question is, what's the difference between now and the end of year? If he's not recognized now, would he be recognized by the end of year like Errol Spence is saying? Would he be recognized by next year like Errol Spence is saying? And what I was saying when I said that Derrick James was capping, those boys isn't getting any younger. Terrence Crawford, if he's not recognized now, would he ever be? And I think a fight with Errol Spence is the type of fight that would get you recognized. Here's the thing. How many casual fans knew Shawn Porter before Errol Spence? Think about it. Not a lot of people knew who Shawn Porter was, but Shawn Porter was holding that strap. A lot of people know Shawn Porter now, after Errol Spence's popularity rose. A fight with Terrence Crawford can do the same thing. Not saying that, or Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, not saying that Shawn Porter wasn't that level of a fighter. He was that level of a fighter. But people need to know who he was after a tremendous fight like that, and the fact that they were hyping that fight, they were marketing that fight, and that's a part of my argument. Maybe you don't know a fighter now, but you can market, you can advertise, you can hype up a fight to have them have even the casuals salivating for the fight when the fight happens. And that's what happened with Shawn Porter and Errol Spence. They did a great job with the lead up. You can do a great job leading up with Terrence Crawford and Errol the True Spence. I'll tell you this. Danny Garcia versus Errol Spence. It looks like that's going to be the fight that's next. Errol Spence did bring up Manny Pacquiao. He said, I'll fight him if he wants to fight. And he was kind of implying that Manny Pacquiao don't want to fight. Manny Pacquiao want to fight Mikey Garcia. I get that. I've seen Manny Pacquiao do that a bunch of times. Him taking on Chris Algieri, him taking on Jeff Horn, him taking on Timothy Bradley, him taking on Brandon Rios. A lot of times, those fights, he gets robbed. So you got to be, you can't just look at this Mikey Garcia as a fight that Manny Pacquiao just going to steamroll Mikey Garcia. You got to look at that fight very closely. Now, Errol Spence said that he'll take on Manny Pacquiao if Manny Pacquiao wanted to fight. But, like I said, he's implying that he doesn't really want the fight. So it looks like he's going to take on Danny Garcia, which that's business as usual. Before the car accident, it was Danny Garcia versus Errol Spence that was going to be the fight that's next. And I think that's a tremendous fight. Funny thing is, you know how hard Danny Garcia punched. And when you look at Errol Spence, you kind of ask yourself, is he ready for Danny Garcia? You mean here, right? You know that there was an accident. You kind of listen to him talk. You listen to him speak. You think that his speech is slurred. When I heard him live, I didn't hear that much of a difference. A lot of people say it may be the dental work. Me, I don't like to speculate too much and say, well, maybe he has a greater condition than we think he has. But I look at what the doctor said with the medical reports when they were released, and they said that Errol Spence is fine to box. So I can only trust them. But that accident was only 5 months ago. So is Errol Spence in the clear? I don't know. And people want to try to eyeball him, listen to him, and say, hey, man, this guy just doesn't sound like the Errol Spence before the accident. We'll see, though. We'll love to see in the ring. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Do you think Danny Garcia has a greater chance now? And are we just looking too close and listening too hard when looking at Errol Spence and seeing what Errol Spence is doing on his live streams and what he's doing on Instagram? Are we just being a little bit too cautious here with Errol Spence, and this Errol Spence just 100% healthy? He did say he's training. Let me know how you feel in the comments below, because do you think that Lil Santa Cruz is ducking Tank Davis? ShowBizz the dope. I'm out.